I all freeze cracked here. Say, I'm out in the hot garage and hiding from the bad air quality, but the bad air quality is bad. Particulates and ozone. But I was looking through a box of some crap that I got recently. One thing I got is a highway marker button that I found discarded. This I brought it home the second time I found it because I figured, well, you know, if it was still there, I'd mess with it. It's about a 1/2 inch piece, looks like, of stainless steel that's been torch cut. And its shape and the texture intrigued me because I was thinking that it was reminiscent of like the Texas paddles. And I figured since it's rough like this, it might actually not be too shocky to try and get into stuff with or to test as to how it would be equivalent like a hammerstone, but it's probably too shocky. And then all the rest of this stuff is petrified wood in various shapes and qualities. This I just brought it home because it was such an interesting shape, which is a bad thing to do because there's too much petrified wood around here. So this was interesting shape, and then broken off, it's got an interesting color and texture. And that may take some heat, but I think it'll be interesting. A lot of the flat, high quality, semi-high quality, translucent looking stuff that I find has working edges done on a little bit. I don't know if you can see how this is real sinuous and has been worked all along here. But they did that a lot. The old boys just took a square piece or a triangular piece or whatever. Like this one's been worked kind of on the end like a scraper a little bit. But they would play with it, and if they could get an edge, that was the tool. But anyway, I don't know why I'm showing you all of this. I thought this was interesting. I figured maybe I could treat it like it was already a little square back knife or something and try and put an edge just right here and leave the rest of it natural. And I figured if I'm able to do that, it'll be cool. You never know till you start working a piece of this wood how it'll work. You know, some of it would need heat, but a lot of it will tend to delaminate or break along the lines of the original planes of the wood. And I get some little bitty pieces. This actually looks like a little tool. That looks like a little spoke shave area on it. You find some of those where it looks like a hard hit was taken straight down to make a little semicircle. And when you find those, like here's another one, when you find those, a lot of times it looks like it's got a little bit of use wear in the bottom of the semicircle. You can see a bunch of little flakes were taken along that as a scraper. And this is Edwards flint, and I find a lot of little micro tools, Edwards flint, and some of those are old. But anyway, I mean, look at this. It's got a white skin and a black interior. So some of this stuff may be interesting. I don't know what to do. I think maybe I'll try it. This was just a big old piece of petrified wood, and it looked like somebody had taken really old hits across it. And that's the leg started right there. I'm not really sure why I brought this one home, but I kind of felt like maybe I'd see if I could hit it and what it would do. So I think I may try and hit it with this stainless steel looking thing. Yowzers. That's not good quality at all. Dang. And this is kind of rough all around, so it's sort of bugging my hand. Let's try and go across the grain with it here and see what happens. That almost looks like it would heat. You know, it's rough and grainy, so it but it did kind of ignore any planes in the wood and go where I hit it, so not sure. Rough stuff though, definitely needs heat. That broke along a bedding plane. So it kind of looks like the middle of this might benefit from heat and work okay and be able to make a point. And the top surface and the bottom surface not real great. Okay, so let's see. I pinched the crap out of my fingers. See that like double blood blister? What I was doing is this has got like epoxy or whatever was originally holding onto a road surface. And so I had these pliers and I was breaking that stuff off and it popped off and the piece broke out and it grabbed onto my finger and did that. Which, see, I shouldn't even tell you, but I don't care. And no, I didn't take this off a road. The question is, how am I going to get it to take flakes? It took it a flake, but the epoxy is holding it together. I don't want to have an accident on camera where I mess myself up worse than I did before. I may have to do this later. But then again, then y'all wouldn't get to see it. Hang on a second. Let me see what I can do here. This is really sketchy. Did it break? I don't see it. Yep, it broke that time. See, my theory is if I can get it broken enough all around here, it'll all just come off, huh? Maybe. So I got break, break, break. Look, look, look. Yeah, you don't see flint knapping like this on just any channel. Yeah, buddy. This is some high grade knapping right here. Well, what do you think? Getting there. Okay, so let's do some more. So it's broken all the way around where the epoxy is. I'm calling this epoxy, but I have no idea what it is really. Okay. I definitely am not suggesting anyone else try this. Okay, so definitely not. Okay, so now round 2. I know you're thinking to yourself, what am I going to do? But I do know what I'm going to do. This wasn't a setup or rig deal. I mean, I haven't been thinking for months about doing this or anything. I went, you know, looking along my local place that crap ends up being dumped. And I actually had seen this, I don't know, months ago. And I don't even remember if where I found it this time is where I'd seen it before, but probably. Time is it? 11 minutes, that's okay. So what I'm doing is turning this all the other way. I'm kind of using the sharp edge of this to... This thing is actually really heavy. So that's not good for my arm, but it probably is good for using it because it probably makes it less shocky than it would otherwise be. Okay. Not breaking great, but it is breaking. It just takes practice to figure out how to make flakes run. When you're using tools or shapes of work or whatever that normally wouldn't run, like when it's hard. And this is not great because, you know, if I was using my copper bopper, I'd be driving them way over here. But and it's not good. I probably ought to be using my best tool simply because of the low quality of this sort of ceramic as far as flake strength. It tends to break. So another thing there is your platforming becomes critical. Your braiding becomes critical, and your support under the flake becomes critical because it doesn't want to stay together and work right. So you have to kind of force it to. for the best on this one. Nope. Yep. That was a pretty good flake. I did something. I didn't. I did. So see, it broke like 4 times underneath that crap. So we're coming off with another layer of it. And it actually looked like it went almost all the way through. It was like almost an overshot. Okay. So yeah, I bet you never thought you'd see this, did you? Me neither. Okay, 16 minutes, be right back.